weirdly enough, ek to we are doing Challenge League on top of that. And another weird thing is that Adi has materialized from whichever rum barrel he was hiding in South Bombay.
Rum barrel? Really?
I don't know, man, where you
That's
hide.
that's not what a bar is. A dive bar is not called a rum barrel, is
Oh,
it?
that's what we used to call the dive bars back in Pune. Back when we were kids, they were like rum barrels for
So
us.
Pune have... Okay, there's a
Actually,
new dive bar called Rum Barrel. I just got told by production.
Yeah, I did.
Saying, yes, but I am back on well, actually not popular demand. It was more of Vagish's demand.
Yes.
He was incessant that I leave all my Premiership head duties and come and sit on the stream for him.
Because today it's going to be very meticulously mentioned by me, and I wanted somebody in authority who practically heads the entire property to hear it from me firsthand instead of watching the stream live later or not live later, as the case may be. It's got a word. It's got a word. You know, it's a word. This word is very important. It applies to anything and everything. It's called professionalism.
Well,
I mean, if I'm waiting here, I'm okay. I'm not demeaning the teams, but come on, buddy. We report to our office on time. Indian cricket team
you report to office on time.
Yeah,
I would love to see the day. But no, I'll tell you what. This is the This is a game from the Challenger leagues, from the Challenger series. This is from the Challenger series, so they're not yet professional.
But again, they will never be if they continue like this.
So, but
trust me, the only window Adi they have of being professional gets shut because of this. Even the Indian cricket, even the Indian national cricket team, screw that. The Indian Kabaddi team reaches on time. And we are talking about Counter-Strike. You've got to sit in front of a PC, man. And how hard is it for you to be on a server at 6:30 p.m.?
So anyway...
Yeah, thank you for saving them once again.
So anyways, no, I am going to change. I'm going to actually listen to Lurpus. He had something to say on Twitter. I don't know if anyone knows who Lurpus is, by the way. But he's a massive deal in the CSGO community. And he said on Twitter, why don't the organizers, the tournament organizers, the TOs who are doing online tournaments, why don't they just set the reporting time to 15 minutes before the game? And if you're not there during the game live time, which is, so for us, how that will be is like you will get into the server at 6:45. If you are not in, then the game is going to go live at 7 o'clock. If you are not in the server at 6:45, your 15-minute technical timeout window begins at 6:45. Simple as that. And if you are later than 7:01, you are disqualified. So that's what I'm going to follow next season.
With all due respect.
I am following this next season.
I like it.
Just to appease you.
Good. I like it. But again, let me remind you.
Yeah.
This is not the States. This ain't Canada. This ain't Europe. This is India. People drive on the opposite side of the road here.
But that's only North India, by the way. Bombay people are a lot more civilized.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I have, you know that I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But again, still, one bad fish.
Yep.
All it takes is one bad fish, man.
How about we actually get into this game now? I believe the teams are finally
hopefully,
ready.
Let's hope. Let's hope the teams are here because
the first team though now from Kuwait called DarkSide.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing dark about them is not being in the server on time. Let's see DarkSide. All right, Chingy and gang there.
Who and gang?
Chingy.
So anyway, I'm going to be brutally honest. I have no idea who the hell DarkSide are. All right, so they're a new team from the Challengers, and this is an exciting game as well, by the way, because one of these teams is going to be out. So this is a double elimination series. It's a double elimination bracket. Both of these teams have already lost one. This is a lower bracket game, and either the other team, which is Elements, or DarkSide are going to go through. Why don't we look at Elements first? Because we know a lot about Elements, and I know there's something definitely on your mind.
चलाते हैं भाई आप गुरुजी.
Well, let me do it then.
गुरुजी, लगाओ Elements. क्यों नहीं लगा? लगाओ. Get it. Yours is the table. Take it
All right.
forward, buddy.
So anyway, about DarkSide, right? I know for a fact that DarkSide has beaten this team called Virtual Genesis, who in the Starter Cup, actually in a BO3, beat... Virtual Genesis is a Malaysian team, by the way. They beat this team called Placeholder. And it's very exciting who Placeholder is, actually. Placeholder are 3 players from the future Optic Gaming lineup. The Optic Gaming lineup, by the way, is going to be announced tonight at around 9 p.m. I already know the lineup, but I do not want to spoil it for them.
I could.
I'm sure.
I could be the Tom Holland of this show.
So, I mean, look, it's pretty obvious. If Placeholder has a couple of their players, right? I'm going to be very frank. Forsaken and as well as Formless are going to be a part of the Optic Gaming lineup.
Of course.
AKS is also going to be their 7th man, hence the core 3. Is going to be maintained, and they've already qualified as well because they're already in the upper bracket final. If you win 2 games, you're through, by the way. So they've already qualified for the Fall Season Masters League. And they actually did it by beating Elements, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check. Yeah. Placeholder actually beat Elements 16-13 on Inferno. So Elements, by the way, a team that has stuck together forever. And remember this, in 2017, in the fall season, we said Elements should probably change their lineup.
Yeah, we said
because
the same about Brutality
they've stuck
also.
to this. Yeah, and
guess
they
what
went
happened?
back.
Wasn't Pexer left after that? Wasn't Pexer literally left
Well,
after we
so
said
was retired Pexer, I have no idea, disappeared. But he was pretty skinny as well. I think he might have gone on one keto diet too far. Yeah, I mean, Elements, they've stuck together for a very, very long time. And I actually thought that they need to change their lineup. But if they don't change their lineup, and if they actually win this today against DarkSide, they will go through and they will qualify for the Masters League in the fall season. So it's exciting days, actually. For this game is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, with all the bashing they've got from us in the fall season, I mean, see, again, it is...
I love how, because the teams have delayed us, you're purposely delaying the veto so that we make them wait.
No, I'm not delaying anything. I'm making my point. Come on, am I not entitled
sorry,
to
what
make
was
a
your
point? Yeah, I mean, I've shared the same desk with you. I've seen Elements. I've seen teams like VAC Band not going eco and going YOLO. So, again, my point is very simple. Elements, again, talking about the team specifically, as per se, are the you and me and Mamba, since Mamba is not here, just you and me here for that point of matter, we have seen Elements have a very, very, very trying time in the fall season last year. Yes, I'm totally agreeing with you. We did mention that they should definitely take a deeper look at their lineup, try to see where they can fit in somebody better.
Yeah.
But again, look at it in hindsight. That was the fall season, buddy. We are talking about the summer season here. This is Summer Season Challengers League of 2018. They literally are 1 year later. It's like a movie, 1 year later. Like you have a slate.
And they've still stuck together.
They've still stuck together.
So that, I mean, there is some props for that.
Props for that, true. But maybe I'm hoping that by the end of today's game, we will get to see what taking a lot of pain, effort, and resolution
Could
looks
do for
like.
you, yeah.
Like, I mean, if you've stuck together, you might see, man.
Another interesting tidbit, by the way, if DarkSide, they have mentioned to our League Ops team as well, to our admin Bulls who's sitting right in there as well, that in case they do qualify, in case they do win this game, they want to move to Bombay to play move to India, sorry, to play the fall season. Because they are playing at a bit of a ping disadvantage. They're playing all the way from Kuwait.
I've heard you have a big house, Zadi.
Yeah, not that. I have a big house, but not a big heart. Big house, not a big heart.
Oh, okay. No, but moving on. Again.
Let's go to the veto. Yeah.
Again, last couple of points here about Elements here. So again, if we see an Elements winning this game, you know what? Even if Elements loses this game, but with a respectful score line here.
I mean, it's not going to matter because if they lose this game, they're out again, and they're not going to be in the Masters League again. So that's the most painful point.
That's the most painful point. But
this is the most important BO.
But it's the resolute.
This is the most important BO1 of the year for them. Thus far.
For that point of matter, yes. I agree.
Let's see which map it'll be played on. I'm actually excited. I hope it's not Inferno.
It is Mirage.
It's Mirage. Train nuke.
Yay,
oh wow!
Take it to the pugs.
Elements, 1.5 years on, is still perma-banning Train. I remember this, that is their perma-ban. Their second ban is Nuke, obviously. Dust 2, really new map to the pool
Shouldn't
right
be.
now.
I don't know why Dust
No,
2
no,
is
no,
getting
it's
banned.
it's actually it's very different now. Actually, the map. So it's very chaotic, and you need to figure out the new strategies and the new smokes and things like that. Actually, we see even the Star Series that is going on parallel to our day to day. Most of the teams are avoiding Dust 2, and they're actually playing Nuke instead. And also, Star Series has a massively amazing format which runs for 7 days, but still, it's a BO3
and they also
Swiss
DQ the
format.
teams for being late.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No,
Oh.
it's a LAN tournament.
Oh my.
Nothing runs according to the accelerated schedule. Everything is
How
the
I
delayed
wish, how I
schedule.
wish
But yeah,
things-
Mirage. I don't think we need to look at the map. I think everyone knows Mirage. Why don't we just go to the game if it
Yeah,
is ready?
Let's still just take a look at the
Alright.
map because
You want to
I'm
hear your
presuming
sexy voice.
a lot of people who are joining us would be new. They wouldn't know the map. It's always for the benefit of the new people joining us. Let's take a look at the map, Mirage.
Mirage. While Mirage relies heavily on middle control, thus enabling the terrorists to oscillate to either bomb site. It offers a different dynamic of seizing bomb sites instantly through carefully placed smoke grenades.
Alrighty then. So now that we have seen the map Mirage, ladies and gentlemen, Adi, any further?
I
predictions?
think Elements will take this game.
Yeah.
I believe in the power of sticking together for longer than required. And slight jab there, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that's like brutality.
well, actually, Brutality went back to the 2016 lineup, so maybe Elements can do the same. Maybe if they go back to they have gone back to the lineup, by the way.
They
Savage,
have once, yes.
Savage
once.
is back into the
Once.
lineup, actually. Savage was gone last year.
Yes.
For a bit of last year. He
Yes.
is back as well now, so maybe that changed. Just like how A-Star came back to Brutality, Savage coming back to Elements might be the
Any
difference
particular
maker.
players we'll be looking out for in this game?
No, definitely Savage as well as Imba.
Savage
And of course,
Imba.
Legendary Killer as well. I think Legendary Killer is their best player on the Element side by far. If his op gets rolling, that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's Mirage, so mid-control, like you saw in the video, is going to be very important.
So it's all dependent on that mid control. You can
Yeah.
rotate
It's going to be a
rotate
close
anywhere.
game. Yeah, it's going to be a close game, but I think Elements will edge it out.
All right. I totally my support goes to Elements for that point of matter. Let's see what happens.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL India Premiership. Today we're in the deciding match of the Challenger Series. The winner goes on to the Masters Division and the loser bows out. The match is going to be played on Mirage between DarkSide and Elements. And with me is the ever charismatic, the best looking caster in the country, Mr. Mamba SR. Mamba Sar, how are you today?
It's a pleasure to be alongside you casting this matchup, and it's always a pleasure casting with you because you come up with all these idioms and all of these fancy words to describe simple situations, and for some reason I really admire that from you. But nonetheless, it is going to be Mirage, and I'm really surprised where Rat is playing right now. So ballsy in the first round, right? I know he's going to get spotted, he's going to get absolutely destroyed, paying the price for it. I am absolutely, I don't know, I'm quite uncertain about the fact why was he playing there, but nonetheless, it's going to be Chingy all alone. Or maybe not. Algonims is going to be there towards the B-bomb. So alongside Riv, we're going to try and hold it off. But Algonims is going to get taken down. It's going to be Rims. Actually, Riv and Faker. Wow, Faker. Never mind. The names are so hard to pronounce. But nonetheless, Legendary getting the refrag. It is going to be 1v3 in the favor of the Terry side. And Faker has a lot to do right now at his hands.
Yeah, 1v3, not an easy situation, especially on the B bomb side on the pistol round. Well, Faker is going to spot out Nims and Legendary Killer. Oh my god, that's a beautiful shot. He lands on a Legendary Killer. Oh, the pixel headshot. Nims bites the dust. Now it's all down to Bunty versus Faker. Who will come out on top? Bunty spots out Faker, but Faker, he is not one to be trifled with. He will chop Bunty's head off like a guillotine from the French Revolution. That's the royal family taken care of. Nims. Well, it was Nims, Bunty, and Legendary Killer. They all fall one by one at Faker's hand. And that's DarkSide picking up the most unlikeliest of pistol rounds that I have seen, going the way of the 1v3. That was a very good retake coming out from Faker.
I would say the post plans were decent, but it was just a horrible round from Elements after being in a situation like that. Why do you have to take that fight why do you have to give him 1v1s? Why do you have to take that angle at one? Just wait it out. Even though it was a good angle, I give you that. DarkSide, these guys did a good job in getting that frag, but that fight was absolutely unnecessary. But overall, I think it was a really good round coming from DarkSide and Elements. I mean, just going to show why they haven't really improved all that much, because it's not about improving as a team for them right now. It's about improving as individual players, not making those mistakes. And when Alchemist is going to spot in the Molotov, is going to get thrown out as well. It's going to be absolutely blind. It will get taken down as well. And certain decisions that these guys are making are really questionable right now. Rad has to fall back. He cannot take that fight from that range with a UMP. He has to wait for reinforcements to come in, but he doesn't want to wait. He's going to go in. He's going to get spotted, almost being taken down right there. But Savage being spotted, surviving on 8 points. Well, it's going to be Rad. Oh my god, look at that though. Imba coming around the backstab is going to find the frag with the Molotov. Actually, with the UMP-45 in his hands right now. And Faker being taken down to 28 points, and he's going to get taken down by the nade coming from Nim. So somehow these guys just managed to lose a round. I mean, I don't even know. These decisions that these guys are making. DarkSide, certain downs they can play so well, and certain downs they just make us question their sanity in the match.
Mamba, honestly speaking, I have no idea how DarkSide managed to lose that. I mean, why is the player playing aggro B short when you have someone watching mid with a scout and hasn't reported any aggression whatsoever? It's little decision making like this that makes me question my own sanity, that whether I know anything about this game that I've been casting for over a year now. But credit where credit is due. Elements, they jump right back on the saddle. They get back on the horse and they just bombard and barrel their way. 4-man rush into the B bomb side. Very good flashbangs, using their limited utility and investment into the previous round very well. And now look at that. Faker starting things off with a YOLO push up. Palace recovers the AK-47. And we do see Nims. He's aware that the push might come from both directions. He can get pincered, but for now, he's going to be taking his attention and putting... Oh, Faker would have heard that. Faker just needs to swing out and just needs to time it, to be very honest. And Nims, he's stuck in a world of trouble. And Alganims, he's in a good position. He can actually catch out a couple of players and he won't be really bothered by the flashes that... Oh, okay. One. But, oh, what a good shot. What a good shot. Riv, in the meantime, with the hand cannon, he's playing from market. Makes his way out, but Legendary Killer and Imba tag team their way into the bomb side. Riv gets, well, taken down, and now it's just Chingy. We'll find one frag, but there's Legendary Killer who pushes up market and gets the kill. Decent anti-force by coming out from Elements, just losing 2 players, although they were both rifle wielders. Will we see SMGs come out? Indeed we do. Bunty picks up the MAC-10, or as I like to call it, the daddy's little trust fund gun. And Savage sticks with the AK-47.
It's actually one of my favorite guns to work with, to be very honest, because it just gives you that mobility, right? And I used to play a lot of KZ back in 1.6, so I still have that carrying for me, right? If I'm personally using that weapon. If you have really good movement, for example, take Antidote, he's pretty good at movement as well, right? Yep. Guys like that, they can absolutely abuse this gun. You can abuse this gun to the max, because if you can bunny hop around, if you can make those jumps, you can literally jump around corners and get headshots with the MAC-10. So I think it actually needs a nerf because I remember when it got buffed, I guess I was the happiest man because it was already so OP, and then they just made it laser for now. But nonetheless, once he's gonna find the opening, he's in the CD base right now. This is exactly what I was talking about. Somehow he goes to makes his way to the CD base, gets 3 frags. And this is exactly what I was talking about with the MAC-10, right? He has been spotted. He knows there's one more guy towards A bombs, and I'm fairly certain that at this point they know that it's an A stack, and Imba is just still going to wait it out, try and get the last 2 frags. But Bansi being taken on has done his job, right? Had the MAC-10, has already made $1,800 more than what he spent on the gun. But Rat somehow is going to find the frag onto Imba. Legendary trying to find the frag is going to get spotted. Will take a decent amount of damage. Will fall back as well. But nonetheless, that is going to be the 3rd round coming off for Elements, and CTs. Oh boy, they got absolutely obliterated in the sack.
I mean, it was a hard eco. There's not really much that they can do at this point. But Chingy, he will get a lot of damage into Legendary Killer. Unfortunately, does not find the kill. But that's 3-1 to Elements. DarkSide will finally come out with a buy of their own. It is going to be a fairly neutered buy in terms of the utility. And I honestly question this helmet buy from Riv and Faker, because they could actually forgone that head armor and picked up a flash, or maybe a kit. Respect or Rat He's going to go for the AWP. He is their designated CT-sided opper, and I think Alganims takes up the op on the T side from what I've seen from their games so far yesterday and day before on Cash. Both of them were on Cash. And, well, Elements, they're going to go with the tried and tested A execute. Let's go. There's that Molotov for triple. Floor is lava over towards the triple box. Chingy is completely blind and the A hit is coming out in earnest. Savage using that smoke to perfection. Faker is still chilling towards Ninja box. This is a good position that he's holding. He's shielded from Palace. Needs to be careful. He peeks out and he will get one kill, but immediately traded out. And now Rat with the AWP. Oh my god, that smoke not lasting long enough in order for Respect or Rat to mask his movements. Riv will find one kill. He's on the backstab. He's going to find 3. They just line up for him. My god. All right, that happened. Mamba, explain.
The gaps in the Counter-Strike, right, in terms of the defense, be it watching your back, it's just so huge, right? And there's not much I can explain in this one. It's just the fact that it was a good execute. It was a really good execute, but they were so concentrated on the bomb side and making sure that they do not get flash pushed from the CD base or from connector from jungle, that no one was watching the back, and they got absolutely destroyed. And this was the round to lose. And right now Riv is going to spot Savage. Savage is going to go down, and that is going to be the second round coming up for DarkSide. And if I'm to be completely honest over here, this is a glorified bug, the way this match is coming out to be.
I mean, I think it's too early in the day for us to condemn this match as a glorified pug, but I understand what you're saying. That execute, yes, it was a textbook A execute. Your 3 smokes, 2 Molotovs, that one really innovative smoke towards Firebox, which allows the Palace player to essentially have a one-way to CT spawn. That's a very good smoke to add to this default execute. But the fact that the players on Elements had no idea how to take decent post plants, and they just literally got tunnel vision on the player towards connector, and Riv just pushed and used him as a positive bait, taking down 3 players and then getting the final 4th as well. It's interesting. It's still early days, like I said, so there's still a lot of Counter-Strike left to be played in this very map, and Alganims, he's going to be jump spotting towards B apartments. It's a rather spread out default coming out from Elements. It's a very passive default also coming out from Elements, considering that they have the full stack of nades, every gun under the sun. I would have expected them to go for a more aggro default, getting maybe mid control, using that utility, putting that to good use, forcing the CTs to throw out their rather paltry sum of nades, and then, wrench a particular site from their control using their remaining utility. But doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. And Imba, I think that's the lineup smoke for one side of, yeah, there we go, B short. They're going to smoke off the arches.
I completely agree with you on what you said about being a little aggressive, right? You do not want to give them the momentum. And right now it looks like it is going to be a B fake coming in, or maybe not. The C4 is actually moving in, so it's going to be Imba who's going to get taken. A Legendary, they're getting the revenge frag onto Faker. It is going to be Riv. Alganim's at Rat, but Alganim's getting the trade again. And those were really quick trade frags coming in, but look at the Molotov coming in. The CTs know that their back is open, their back is exposed, and Legendary is going to try and make his way towards short. He's going to miss that jump and will lose out on precious 7 seconds. I mean, making that jump, this is where the movement comes in, right? It could have saved him 7 seconds. He could have probably tried and went in for the round as well. Now he realizes that there is no way in hell that he could have won that round. And again, you're touching on the subject that you're touching on the point you mentioned before. I totally agree with you. I mean, be a little aggressive. You just lost 1 round, right? You still have the advantage. They won't have the losing bonus coming in. You have done enough damage. Why not just be a little more aggressive, right? You do not want to give, you don't want them to play in their comfort zone. Keep them on their toes when you have that sort of an advantage. And well, they didn't do that. They paid the price for it and try to go in for a complete execute, which is not a bad thing. I don't condemn it, but it's just that it's one of those things, right? So sometimes you have to play with the mines rather than you have to beat them outside the server in the mines rather than just out-fragging them, out-aiming them, or outsmarting them in the server. So it's a little hard to explain it right now, but overall I think you made a really good point, Pet.
I mean, here's the thing. Again, it wasn't a bad idea to go for that hard B execute, but like you saw what that one Molotov saved on, I think it was Alganims who threw that down towards Market. That turned the tides of the round. It denied Legendary Killer any opportunity to go for that well, essentially that 1v2 scenario. Now, if you'd actually drawn out the utility from the opposition, you would have had a much easier time emptying out a bomb site or actually taking control of a bomb site. And now, oh my god, it's just complete chaos all over the place. Everyone's just running in willy-nilly. Riv is going to get shot in the butt very soon, but at least Rat does pick up a kill. And the Molotov is a bit too deep from B shot. And so is the nade. But somehow Rat has made his way into the bomb site. Bunty, he's made his presence known. And Bunty's head is going to explode like a watermelon falling from the 6th floor. In the meantime, Chingy does trade out onto Savage. It's a 2v2, but oh, Chingy's so very low. 1v2. This is looking dire for him. And how are Elements winning these rounds? It's just, again, DarkSide seem very shaky towards that B hold. I think one of the primary reasons that Elements lost that gun round with the execute was because they had 3 of their players had to actually push through the smoke, and they didn't have a proper line of sight into the bomb site. They used the wrong utility. They used the wrong smokes for the wrong execute, in my opinion. If you're going to pincer B from short and apartments, you don't really want to be smoking off both the pillars. You want to have line of sight from at least one angle. So you eliminate one angle and you focus your entry onto the others. And look at what this has done to the economy. DarkSide won the previous 2 rounds with just 2 players kept alive, which means that force buy, that semi-buy from Elements paid huge dividends. The 2 players with the armor and the AK-47 were able to carve up this defending CTs. And now, not only did they carve up the defending CTs in the previous round, they also managed to obliterate their economy. And now Riv, well, he's standing by his lonesome. They've gone in for a force buy of their own. They're on double eco territory, so this makes complete sense. And now, well, they have to play with a very, very limited buy. And there we go. Already the man advantage being seized by Elements. Faker going down without doing too much damage either.
This is certainly interesting. And while I was watching the boost coming in, I actually thought of something new which hasn't really been tried on Mirage. But in the meantime, Rat is going to get the frag onto Imba, and we have a Tech 9 as well, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, man, I think I just heard things right now. But nonetheless, Nims is going to fall back. Actually, it's going to be Rat who's going to get taken down by Nims on the CT-based Chingy, just waiting it out with the CZ75. Has forced it up. There's no one to take that fight at that range, and, well, he's going to get obliterated by Nims, and well, that is going to leave Nims and Revs. What was that shot? The legendary is going to go down to the scout. Nims trying to find the second one as well. It's being a little too adventurous right now. Should probably just fall back, try and save that Kevlar up that he has bought up, which is ever so precious. He spent, but if this is what he has bought in this round, he spent about $3,000 on a P250 Kevlar, and I still don't get this, right? Why do you want to buy head armor? I do understand that the terrorist side might have an MP, a MAC-10 or an MP7, but what are the chances of it coming out so late in the game, right? So just try and save up that money. He spent $3,000. Like, imagine spending $3,000 on a scout.
That scout, Rat had the scout. He died rather unceremoniously in jungle, and I think Alganims picked it up.
I think I missed out on it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the force buys clearly aren't working out. Elements, for all their, very basic Counter-Strike that we've been seeing from them thus far, they do seem to have worked a lot on their anti-force buys and anti-ecos. And, well, they're paying dividends. They're not losing too many players. They're consolidating their economy. And more importantly, they're putting rounds on the board on the T side of Mirage. Because, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching and maybe are new to the game, Mirage is a very CT-sided map, and even like all through the course of Counter-Strike, that one fact has remained that Mirage is predominantly favors the counter-terrorist side, and no one is marking towards connected. It looks like it's gonna be an A hit, but whoa, Riv from nowhere gets that kill onto Imba, retrieves the AK-47. Now he needs to be careful. He spots out Legendary Killer. He's gonna get his second for the round. Riv, the only player with the Kevlar, and now has the AK-47 as well. But look at where Savage is, and Savage, okay, the longest spray down of his life. How is Rat still alive?
That just reminds me of this one phrase Blair once said about a spray down. But, talking about how CD-sided this map is, right? I remember a Reddit post coming out when, I think it was late 2016, when the map actually, nonetheless, I think they're actually going to go in try and go in for the retake, but Rev is going to go down. The AK-47 is going to fall on the CD side. It's going to be Rat. He's going to wait it out, try and maybe get the frag through the smoke or not. He's going to go in. He's going to try and go in for the knife, but he's going to miss out. Almost getting it. It's going to be Rat going around the corner. Will get taken down. Alkanim's all alone though in a 1v3. Can he do the damage? Can he get those guns off? The terrorist side and Savage watching jungle. Alkanim's is not going to push out. He's going to fall back, try and save that AK-47 up. So what I was talking about was, this map has been considered to be city side for such a long time, right? That I think late to 2016, when if you considered a week of result, I think it was November, some month, 51 or 52% of the matches were all of these guys had a lead on the terrorist side, and they ended up winning pretty convincing on the terrorist side. And there was a Reddit post that just goes on to show how CD-sided this map is, right? And just because it was 51%, not even 50%, not even like a huge margin. So it just goes on to show that. And the way DarkSide have been playing their CD side right now, things do not really look all that happy in the second half.
I mean, these DarkSide really need to start making their buy rounds count, and well, DarkSide have gone for a tactical timeout, so looks like they're trying to map out exactly what they want to do during this round. We will be seeing a buy, most probably. They do have above $4,000 on each and every one of them. So they should be buying up those rifles, possibly foregoing on the helmet. But, I mean, if the previous buy round of this nature was any indicator, so they do favor the Kevlar plus helmet and limited utility. DarkSide, they're playing a very vanilla Mirage. It's a 2-1-2 every round without fail. One player mid, two players A, two players B. And Elements seem to be having a very easy time breaking open that B defense. They've carved it open time and time again, and they've targeted A on their on the eco rounds and the anti-force buy rounds. I think there might be some pattern to be exploited at this point by DarkSide. Maybe stack 3 towards B, give up mid. There's a lot of variation that you can do. You can spot mid from connector and from B short, have a pincer going on there, not allowing Elements any sort of mid control. On the flip side, Elements haven't really gone for any mid control so far that we've seen from their buy rounds. And again, that is another weakness that can be exploited. Yet another thing that DarkSide may be planning to do is aggression. That is something we haven't seen from DarkSide yet. Push underpass. Push, well, we did see that Palace push in that one in that one force buy round where I think it was Faker who'd pushed up and gotten that AK-47. But after that, we haven't seen any initiative from DarkSide to actually seize control of the rounds and take the game to their enemy. They've just sat back in the bomb sites, turtled up, and allowed Elements all the map control in the world and all the time in the world to do whatever execute please their fancy. So I think it's time for DarkSide to actually take the game to Elements and bring it, basically.
That is true. That is true. And it's just so on point what you mentioned right now, right? Because there's you have to mix things up if you don't want to get predictable on a map like Mirage, especially when there are so many things you can do. And well, the CTs are waiting for the aggression. The CTs expecting, trying to do something fancy right there, but they don't have the resources to back it up. Riv might just be able to get a frag, fall back with a flashbang, but if he gets pushed from underpass, it is going to be the day done and dusted. And Shingy is also backing him up. Brat is watching underpass though. So it's a really mid-heavy setup they went for right now, and I think it makes sense, right? Names is going to get spotted, and this is exactly what you do not want to do. You want to connect those shots, and the backup is going to come in. Shingy is going to go around the corner. Riv is going to swing out and chime in as well. So that mid-push, mid-aggression actually paying its dividends, and Alkanim's just going to wait it out towards a B bomb side. I think he has spotted him by, yes he has, and he's going to fall back throwing in the flashbang. He's combo! Look at that though. He's going to go around the corner, we'll find the frag. Actually Riv is going to come in, back him up, and finish the job for him. It is going to be legendary though, all alone, actually alongside Bunty in a 2v5, and this is going to be a tough task. Even though 3 players are really low, this is still going to be really hard because they have 5 players on the server. And the C4 is going to try and make his way towards A bomb side. While we have, it is Bunty who's going to be sneaking in towards A bomb side. He's going to find the frag on the Chingy. Almost being spotted by Faker right there, throwing in the flashbang towards the CD base, and well, he's gonna get taken now because Rat did not get blinded by the flash. It is gonna be Legendary all alone. Throwing in the smoke towards jungle, failing on purpose? I don't know. I don't think it was on purpose, but the Molotov is gonna go in towards the CD base. We'll try and go for the plant, but alright, they're not gonna try and peek out. Rave though is going to deny it, and that is going to be the first round coming off of the CD side.
Well, DarkSide finally picking up a gun round by keeping 3 players alive, which means that they can go in for a decent buy this round, and it does go a little ways towards shoring up their economy. However, they need to string at least 2 more rounds by having that kind of a buffer margin of 3 or more players kept alive if they want that CD side economy to build, because the economy on the CD side, we've said this time and time again and stressed upon it I don't know how many days, in several different ways, that the economy on the CD side is unforgiving. You mess up a couple of rounds and you're done for, and that's an explosive play coming out of Elements onto the A-bomb site. Again, getting caught completely off guard with their pants down here, DarkSide on the A-bomb site. This is the first time that Elements have actually burst out into the open, into the A-bomb site without any utility, completely dry push, and they just caught that A defense napping.
And well, it paid off, right? They got the bomb down. They have a 2-man advantage in the series. There's nothing they can do about it right now. They can't even go in for the retake. And Alkanims is on short. He sees the C4 but cannot do anything about it. So really unfortunate for the series. And he's going to connect that shot. Bunty is going to get taken down. Trying to push in connector, trying to get that information, maybe get a gun off as well. But well, the amount of cash they have is not all that great. So both of these teams are really running short on cash, except for the Terry side. They're going to earn a lot of money right now, and they won't have to spend a lot either because only 1 player went down. So CTs have to win this round, right? But again, they won't really have all the resources they would want to work with, or maybe they can actually afford it because we have Rat saving up their AK-47, Alkanim's on the op, who can go in for a few more resources. But I'd rather this is a little confusing for me, right? Is Rat actually going to go and drop in an M4 for his teammate, or nope, that is not going to happen? He doesn't even buy the resources, so I'm a little confused about this right now.
I think you're more confused. I think Chingy is the most confused person in the server right now, and Savage is going to brutalize Riv, and he's going to live to tell the tale. 30 HP on him, Rat, with that AK-47 now. He's going to get surrounded, swarmed, Molotov, that he's just not having a good day. He's burning as well. Going to make his way towards safety, just teetering on a knife edge there. And Chingy, the man without the armor with just the P250, will get annihilated as well. And now it's just Faker with the UMP on the A-bomb side. This is not looking good, and Alganims does get the kill on a Legendary Killer, at least brings down the man disadvantage. It's a 3v3 now, but well, the weapons advantage is still squarely in favor of Elements, but we've seen DarkSide pull off rounds like these out from, their behinds like it's nobody's business. And Faker, he's not moved a muscle. He's playing a very smart game. He's going to spot out Nims, but not able to react in time. Bunty, he's got 40 seconds left to play with, and he does have backup in the form of Savage coming in from jungle. Spots out Rat towards CT spawn. Both the CTs are towards the spawn area. Can Bunty hold off until Savage can? Backstab does not matter because Savage will get spotted out, and Alganims with that oh so crucial kill. Rat with the 3k, Alganims with the brace, and that's the full house of frags being shared between Rat and Alganims, and they, really bail DarkSide out of a very, very tight spot.
Well, that is true, and the scoreline being 5-7 in the favor of the Terror side. Elements are doing pretty good on the Terror side right now, and well, this is turning out to be quite a matchup, right? The rounds being back and forth, even though the Terror side has obviously had upper hand in terms of winning those rounds in a row, but last 3 rounds they've been back and forth, and the CTs now they do have an op, quite a few resources, and Bunty is just going to have a Deagle to work with. So this is going to be interesting. I really want to see where Bunty is right now. He is actually going to be making his way towards the B-bomb side, so he's going to be trying to be the bait, or maybe not. He's going to get destroyed by Alganims and his op, and I don't get this, right? I mean, at least wait for someone else. If you are going to have a Deagle to work with, do not try to make that hero play, because the possibility of you getting an opening inside the B palace with a Deagle while you have no one to back you up are like literally 0, right? Unless you're like Nico or something. But it's a really hard shot to hit because you only have one shot. If you miss, you're destroyed. And when he decides to push up, And I would rather put that deagle to use somewhere else. I'd rather be the bait if I have to, or maybe just be the lurk and try and catch. Try and make my job easier, right? Try and backstab a CT or something like that. But when it's gonna go into a palace, it's gonna get taken down, and suddenly his team is to a man deficit. And this is not the most ideal situation to be in.
But there we go, the A hit is coming in. Chingy fails that spray gloriously, and Legendary Killer is there to pounce on that opportunity presented. But yet again, it's a very iffy post-plant type situation coming in, and there we go, Alkanims does pick up Legendary Killer. Rat is gonna go spraying, but Imba through the smoke, but Rat is there for the trade. And oh my god, what the heck? It's like just everybody died in a straight line. You remember those exercises in geometry that you used to do in 6th grade? That, how many straight lines can you draw from, between 2 points or 3 points? It's just always one. That's how they all died. It was like a single line just passing through. It was like that, what's it called? The ray gun in Quake? I'm forgetting what it's called. It's like somebody shot that from CD spawn. Friend and foe alike just got annihilated. Whoever, like woe betide whoever stood in the path of that trajectory. Railgun, there we go. Thank you.
Because I haven't really played Quake, but from how you described it, I was fairly certain it was the railgun, because we had it in Battlefield, by the way, and it was so OP. But yeah, I mean, Element somehow I don't even know what these guys are up to, right? Because it's not the rounds. These are not the rounds you would want to lose in, especially in a situation like this. And then suddenly they don't have the weapons to work with. And I was really upset with Bunty the way he played the last round. Now he has an AK-47 to work with suddenly. And while the rest of his team is on CZ75s, Mactins, and nothing else. So this is gonna be interesting. Again, Bunty's all alone towards mid. He's trying to be that hero, and he's almost got taken down right there. So I'm not quite sure what sort of mindset is Bunty in right now, but it's clearly not working out for his team. And Rev is going to be throwing the Molotov, and the nade is also going to go in. It is going to be legendary. Oh, what? Fed, explain this to me.
Lag.
Oh boy, you summed it up in one word so nicely, so nicely. And that is what all of us do, right? When we miss a spray. Yeah, well, bro, he's lagging. I'm lagging. We're all lagging. The servers are good, actually. It's from ServerStrong. The servers are the best ones in the country. I'd actually going to say probably in any surrounding country. We don't even have servers as good as you guys. So thanks to you. And in the meantime, these guys are playing at 120, 130 ping, right? So it is a tough spot to be in, and they're still doing a decent job, because on the CT side also, we didn't really consider this fact, right? When we're talking about their abysmal CT side, fine, decision making was subpar, but holding off angles on 130 ping is not an easy task. It's really, really hard fight.
Yeah, I know, I agree completely. And you can see the sluggishness, like you can tell that the ping is affecting their reaction times as well. We saw this with Portal Esports as well during the Masters division, where their high ping really kneecapped them from time to time, especially when it came to the CT side peaks. But, well, Bunty, he's got the angle covered, but... Alright, he took his sweet time, letting Savage die there quite literally. Elements don't really have the excuse of high ping at this point. They're the ones playing at 1/3 the ping of DarkSide. And, well, DarkSide will tie up the scores, like, looking extremely dodgy on their CT side. DarkSide, that previous round, by the way, team ace for Team DarkSide. All 5 players getting a single kill. That's always good to see, the frags being spread around evenly.
That's true. And in the meantime, the way things are working out for DarkSide, right, I think they might just have a really strong CT side to close in with, because the score is tied out at 7-7. They were looking pretty shaky in the first few rounds, in the first 5 or 6 rounds, and now suddenly they'll bounce back, and the scoreline has tied out to 7-7. So it's gonna be Savage who's gonna wield the op on the CT side up against Alkanims, who's gonna have an op to work with this. Also, the nade going, and look at that, they're doing a lot of damage. Legendary is gonna get taken down to 68 points. And the reason why I say it's a lot of damage, because he didn't even see him, right? And this just reduces a bullet somehow. How does he miss him? I don't know if it's just the timing, or is he playing on black bars while he jumped up. But this was just ridiculous, right? You don't expect these things in a match, in a tournament like this. But nonetheless, that happened. Savage is going to go down. It is going to be Chingy who's going to find the flag on corner. Faker going to go around the corner, swinging out. Imba is going to get taken down as well. It is going to be Alchemists and Faker on the CD side in a 2v2. Can they pull this off? Though that is the question. It's something Names is going to get taken down. And oh boy. This is certainly turning out to be really, really interesting. It is going to be Bunty, though, in a 1v2. Can he pull this off? He has been in a clutch situation in the last 3 rounds and has not been able to close it out. But this time around, though, well, it's not going to change.
It's like watching... You're right, it's a pug, Mamba.
It's a glorified pug.
At the halfway point, I can say with full confidence. We're watching a pug match being played. A very high-ranking pug match, don't worry. Like, it's beyond global. But it's definitely still a pug.
And this is such a change, right? Yesterday we saw Shivaya and his team, if I'm not mistaken, was Shivi, sorry.
Yeah.
It was... Which team is it?
God Particles.
God Particles. And even though it's the same league, right? It's the Challenges League, but we were really blown away by the way they played because of their teamwork, the way they were taking their decisions. You know, I actually ended up messaging him on Steam that you guys played really well, and that is a difference. That is, you know, we are seeing two ends of the spectrum right now in 2 days. We saw God Particles playing such good Counter-Strike, and today it's just you know, it's not teams winning rounds, it's rather teams losing out on rounds and us pointing the mistakes out.
I mean, it's okay, man. But I'd say this. Credit where credit is due. DarkSide do manage to mount a comeback. And they end the half with the lead. They've taken their second tactical timeout. It's clear that DarkSide actually have a plan. And they are willing to adapt and make changes on the fly. Which is a sign of good things to come for any team in this Challenger division. Look, the way to success isn't paved by mad fragging skills or insane mechanics. I mean, yes, those are par for the course, but it's actually when you sit back, evaluate your rounds and are able to adapt within a game, that's what actually accelerates that path to success. That road to Masters division is actually, you know, the yardstick there is adaptability and flexibility. It's not just raw aim and skill. Because after one point, you have to just concede to the point that, yeah, okay, more or less everybody will be on a level playing field, apart from gods like, you know, your Marzels, your Excallis, your Hunters, Antidotes. These guys are just mad aimers, right? But then the rest of your skill pool is going to be very good mechanically gifted players, but they hold their own because their neurons are firing at just as fast as their, you know, hand-eye coordination allows them to aim. If your brain is dead, you're not going to make it far in this game. You have to be a thinker. You have to be...
I think one of the best examples of this, I mean, I actually was having this discussion with Equitas, and we were talking about Forsaken, right? And this guy plays on a laptop on like 70 FPS. And we ended up talking about this because since he's at such a disadvantage in terms of his gear, does that force him to improve his decision making? Because if you cannot if you cannot be as fast as the other players on the server, you have to outsmart them, right?
Yep.
And that is the difference that, you know, that just goes on to show. Like, everyone's like, oh well, I'm gonna buy a better mouse, I'm gonna buy a better monitor, I'm suddenly gonna be a pro. No. That sure does help you with your mechanical skills, but you have to think it through. And if you are not making the right decisions, as we've been criticizing right now, for both these teams, I think it's not going to work out. And well, in the meantime, Riv is going to open things up towards a bomb side. It is going to be Names who's going to get taken down. And the most basic of smokes on the A-bomb side. And Elements cannot even contain that. So, well, they are going to be in a 4v5 retake, which is still plausible. They do have a smoke to work with, but they have a lot of work to do. They have 3 guys towards CD base on the cherry side. Look at this! Emma with an amazing headshot. And this just reminds me of VP, you know, stacking up on cobblestone towards mid. And I'm fairly certain any CD that peeked out towards CD base right now in the last round, they would have shat their pants.
Yeah, I mean, you peek out, there's like a firing squad waiting for you, and that's when you realize that you've effed up. I mean, I love that meme, dude. I love that meme. It's one of my all-time favorite memes. That
I know, right? It's literally like, you know, you can see it in their eyes. Like, this is the moment where they see their death coming, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Pretty much. And see, it's that meme and JW Best. Those are my 2 favorite all-time CSGO memes. Anyway, Savage is going to spot out a bunch of players heading out towards mid. And again, I like what DarkSide are planning, that they failed that smoke, but they've gone for the map control, they've gone for the mid control and the eventual B pincer. But Legendary Killer, he's going to shoot between the 2 players and hit nothing but air. In the meantime, Imba's going to spray away with that CZ and, well, get immediately traded out by Riv. That's going to leave Mr. Bunty and Mr. Nims in a 2v4 situation. Bunty is going to get smacked in his face with that 7.62 bullet through the wall down to 40 HP, and then he's going to slyly walk away. It's like if Sai were playing right now, he's like, "Kya chappal mara, kya chappal pada usko, ekdam halka sa chappal." That's what Sai would say. I love watching Sai stream, dude. He's such a charismatic pro player. Like, one of the things that I've realized is that, you know, Sai, he may suffer from consistency issues, but his charm, like, the man is just oozing personality, and he's just such an entertaining guy to talk to. Like, be it LAN, be it online, be it in his Discord, he's just such a fun guy in general, and that's why I think he's such a beloved, you know, pillar in the community.
That is true, and it's one of those things. Actually, I don't know if the community saw it, but I saw quite a few videos from yesterday's birthday party that Sai gave out.
What happens in you know, Vegas stays in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Yeah, let's just not go there. Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's gonna be the CD side on an eco, and this is gonna be really hard round to save because I mean there's nothing they can do about it. And Bunty's gonna be pushing up. They have a CZ75 to work with, actually 2 of them, and they're going to be pushing up as well. But the Terry side taking mid control this time around is not really surprising, which is a good thing to do, of course. But Imba, had he had the CZ, he could have destroyed them. And he's on the backstab! The Terry side doesn't realize how do they not realize? How do they not hear him? And well, almost finding the frag, but Faker is going to finish him off. It is still going to be a 4v4. Alkanim's on the backstab. He's going to find the frag onto Legendary, and that is going to open up the B bomb side. So the CDs, well, all they can do right now is sit back, relax, and watch the B bomb side go down and drain. But okay, Bunty is going to come across the corner. Rat is going to get taken down with a headshot. It's going to be Bunty and Savage in a 2v3. And this now suddenly seems doable for them because, you know, Alkanims is the only guy who's on 100 points of health. And if he gets taken down, this could be really hard. And, well, almost Savage almost fighting the frag onto Riv. But, well, he's going to get taken down. And Bunty's going to fall back and save that AK-47 up for the next round.
Alright, that's a good thing to be taking forward. He has the Kevlar as well. So why not, right? Just save it. The CZ, the Kevlar, the Molotov, and the AK-47. That's a lot of investment that he's going to be taking into the next round. More importantly, he's going to have $4,400 so he can actually drop a gun to one of his teammates and, you know, allow them to buy up that kit, the utility. They're going to have a much healthier buy if DarkSide allows, well, Bunty to save this AK-47. And I think, yeah, there's no hunt that's going to come out. In fact, Riv is going to get his block knocked off completely and brutally wrecked there, Riv, by the saving player Bunty.
I mean, they didn't realize that they didn't have a lot of money, but they still go out, end up trying to go in for the take. But nonetheless, the scoreline is going to be 11-7 in the favor of DarkSide, and suddenly they look like they're in the driver's seat, right? And Elements, at a point in the first half, they look like they were the ones who were going to walk away with the map. But Savage, I like this aggression from him, but he's going to get blind. He has to fall back. I just didn't like the fact that he jumped in from mid. But it's a faster way of doing it. We actually have Palace aggression coming in as well towards him. You know, maybe not. I think I just saw something else. Oh, we did. All right. I think I've been reading the radar wrong as well. But Bunty's going to be falling away. This is also, by the way, what happens when you don't play for a very long time. But Names is going to be there, waiting it out, avoiding the flashbang, almost being taken down with the Mac-10. And that is not the way you want to go down in a bite on. The Molotov is going to go in. And Faker is going to make his way towards Connector somehow. Names is going to get taken down. And Bunty is going to go down as well. Savage getting the frag onto. Can he get the second one as well? He's going to be waiting it out. He's going to get it. He's going to connect the shot onto Algonims, reducing it to a 3v3. And the Terry side, they're going to plant the bomb down towards short. And Nimba is going to be on the backstab. Is DarkSide going to repeat the mistake that Elements made? I think yes. Faker is not going to be watching his back. Imba is going to be on the backstab, man. Alright, almost missing that shot. Almost messing that up. And it's going to be Chingy in a 1v2. Can he pull this off? The nope is going to be the answer. Imba is going to slay him. That is going to be the first round coming off for Team Elements. Oh wait, is it first round? It is the first round in the second half for them. And the scoreline is going to be 11-8 in the favor of DarkSide.
And there we go. Imba showing Legendary Killer how it's done. That nest to short jump. Elements picking up their first gun round. Keeping 3 players alive again, crucial to the economy effort, as we all know. We've stressed upon it way too many times. Not going to go back there. DarkSide on the flip side, they have another buy left in them. Primarily courtesy their rather clean anti-force and anti-eco rounds that they pulled off. So now they're going to go in for the final buy, and that bomb plant does, you know, aid in the buying effort for this round. Yet again, a 2-1-2, a very default, very vanilla setup from Elements. And it's going to be an A execute. Happy days, Mamba. We're seeing another A execute.
I mean, this is just one of those things we've seen so many times, and it still doesn't surprise us. And they have not smoked off CT, for which they are going to pay the price. We have Savage with the op who's going to be waiting it out, and finally this Moxie and the Molotov, you know, gets distinguished. Wait, did I just say distinguished? Never mind, extinguished. Oh boy.
That was a distinguished Molotov, though, right in the smoke, because reasons.
I have no clue what is happening right now, and it's numbing my brain, Fed. It's numbing my brain. You're seeing the mistakes flow in, and it's gonna be Imba finding the frag on it. How is this even happening? This is really infuriating, to be very honest. You are not supposed to lose out on players like this. You know there's an off towards the CD base, and Imba is going to get taken down. And in the meantime, Savage as well, almost being taken down. And Alkanim somehow is going to survive. He's going to try and get on top of the box. Savage just waiting it out. Is he going to get taken down as well? I don't know, but he's going to walk in. And Alkanim, I think he has heard him. And that is going to be the 12th round coming up. And DarkSide somehow still managed to pull the round off. Alkanim is going to get a quad kill. I don't even know what is happening.
Let's just call it magic voodoo Counter-Strike. And let's just keep it at that, because that round was just, it was a, for lack of a better word, it was a toss-up. It was just a complete potpourri of hilarity ensuing thanks to a comedy of errors. And I'm just flabbergasted, Mamba. I have not been, you know, dumbstruck by a round of Indian CS in so long that I've forgotten how it feels. And
I think this is my first-hand experience, and I know how terrible it feels, right? Your brain just stops working. But in the meantime, they're going to make their way towards the B shot area, try and swarm in towards the B bomb side. And it's clearly working out for them. And it's going to be Chingy and Faker alongside Rat, who are going to find the opening towards the B bomb side. It's going to be Savage all alone on the backstab. And I think I just read the chat, and someone mentioned that God Particles actually won against Placeholder. And pretty convincingly that too. That is surprising.
Actually, it's not. I mean, it's ye old TMG. I mean, I'm not surprised, to be very honest, because the thing is, they've already made it through. I don't think they really, at this point, I don't think they were really trying very hard. But then again, I'll speak to Ux after the game and find out what really went down in that game. I'm pretty sure he'll have a few colorful things to say. I'm looking forward to that.
That is true. That is true. And, you know, everyone still holds him in a really, really high regard as a player. But getting back to this one, Elements. Ah, boy, they have a lot of work to do. And, alright, this timeout is coming in at the right time. That is for sure. But I'm not quite sure what are they going to be talking about right now, because they are just making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. And you cannot talk it through in a timeout which is just like 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes long.
I mean, it's alright. There's no point pointing out the mistakes. Like, see, I'll be honest. I don't really think most of the players take us very seriously when we offer criticism, so I've just stopped. I'd rather just watch and laugh and cry at the same time. But, you know, what I like to see is I'd rather focus on the positives. And yes, DarkSide are playing at a massive ping disadvantage, but they're getting the job done. I mean, they are falling back on heroics coming out from some of the players every now and then. But more credit to them for that. Even though they're playing on, what, a 150, 140 ping, they're hitting their shots, whereas Elements are whiffing left, right, and center. And DarkSide seem to have a much better read on the Elements setup, round in and round out, than the other way around. It is not a two-way street right now. DarkSide are quite comfortably in the driver's seat, although this round can change that dynamic, provided Elements can win this out. And that is possibly the reason that they have taken their technical timeout. Again, I'd like to see a switch up from Elements. So far, DarkSide have shown a lot more variation in their T-side play. They've gone for mid control. They've gone for the fast A play. They've shown us that they can pull off the as vanilla as they come A execute from the pugs, including the missed CT smoke and the Molotov in the smoke. These are telltale pug, just CSGO pug things. But when push comes to shove, it's always DarkSide that delivers the goods.
That is true. That is so true, right? Even though they might seem like the underdogs. I mean, they weren't really seen as the underdogs, but you get the point, right? You get the drift. They weren't the ones who look like would probably walk away with the win. But in the end, they somehow try and get that consistency going in their favor, later in the later halves of the game. And they're doing it pretty well right now as well, even though they are to a man disadvantage. I mean, not really exactly to a man disadvantage, but they're in a 4v4. There's going to be Nims who's going to get taken down, and now this is where they are dictating the pace of the match. And you've mentioned this, when you have a ping disadvantage, you might, on the terrace side, it becomes a little more easier for you. You have the peakers advantage, you have your, I won't really say the ping is a benefit, but at least you can control the pace of the game. And Imba is going to be on the backside. And every single time we've seen this, all the teams are making the same mistake. He's going to get the first one, can he get the second as well? He's going to fall back all alone in a 1v3. He's going to try and save that weapon up for the next round, and that is going to be a pretty comfortable 14th round coming up for Team DarkSide.
Yeah, and Elements really needed that round, and that's why you see Imba just put his Air Jordans on and channel his inner Usain Bolt. He turns around 180 degrees and books it like nobody's business. Recovers the AK as well. Let's see what the money situation is. It is dire, Mamba. It is atrocious on the CT side. They're broke. Completely and utterly broke. And it seems that the team from Kuwait are not, they're not going to bow down. They're still going to try and win it. They're hungry for that Masters spot.
Everyone is, right? I mean, it's just a huge accomplishment. Even just being in the Masters League, and it's a thing of pride, because you're playing with the best teams in the country, some of the best teams in Asia as well. I won't say all of them, because a lot of teams don't participate, but it's obviously a big accomplishment. And the series, well, Imba is going to have an AK-47 which he has saved up from the last round, so this is going to be interesting. And I think one of the reasons why I remember one of those scout rounds I confused it with was due to the fact that, look at the AK-47 right now on the right side. It's still bright, right? If you picked up the dropped weapon, it's supposed to be a little grayed out. It's probably one of those things, but CS, broken game, literally unplayable. But getting back to it, it's going to be an A execute coming in. And the C4 is actually A fake. So, well, that's fake being sold out really, really good. Legendary is going to make his way towards the B bomb side, and the CDs have not potted. The CDs are on the rotation towards the B bomb side. Faker almost being taken down right there. He's actually going to fall to Legendary, and it's P250. That's going to be Riv is going to go down to Savage, and Raj is going to get taken down by Imba. Doing so much work. Chingy, can he pull this off though? He has to, pull the rabbit out of his hat if he wants to pull this round off. But Alchemists is going to be on the backstab. He's right. He's going to get spotted. Get the first one. Going to get the second as well. He's going to find it. Savage is going to get taken down. Get a third as well. Imba is going to get taken down. And it's going to be Bunty. And Algon is going to 1v1, and Bunty finding the frag onto him. And that was such a, I don't know, unconventional and...
I wish I could swear, Mamba. I wish I could swear. Because that round... I was speechless. Twice in the course of a single game. Oh my. Oh my.
Let's just take a minute of silence for these guys.
Yes, please. Press F to pay respects, because DarkSide just threw that round, man. There's no other way to say it. They threw that round.
Oh boy. And it just feels bad to watch Counter-Strike like this being played out. Not because you have to cast it. That's a completely different story. I mean, that's our job. I mean, it doesn't matter what game you're casting, right? We're supposed to cast it with 100% passion towards a matchup, but it's just the fact that you do not expect this kind of Counter-Strike being played out in the Challenging League. No. And if this, I'm really hoping that both of these teams are having the bad days, because if this is how they generally play, oh boy, they are not going to survive. Even if DarkSide makes it, I think DarkSide is not going to make it to the Masters. Oh wait, can you break this matchup down to me again, because I think I missed out when Adi mentioned it.
So DarkSide is playing from Kuwait, right? And we've already seen Elements play in the Masters division. Last fall season was their final appearance, and they won a grand total of 0 games. And yes, they've stuck together, and that is commendable. But I mean, look, I think it was Vas who said it, right? The very definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, right?
That is true.
So, yeah, they might have stuck together, but I'm not seeing the result of, any chemistry building exercises, any camaraderie. Their trade game is all over the place. I can't really vouch for their comms because, well, I'm not privy to them. But so far, it's not been a very pleasant experience. However, like I said, I'd rather focus on the positives. And yeah, the positive here is that Elements do have that streak of grit and determination going on about them. They were 14-8 down in a round that they were essentially like scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of their buy, and they still managed to pull through, and that is something to be proud of. They don't roll over and die. They have a good never say die attitude, and I respect that. I'm happy that there's a team in the Challenger division that can channel that kind of fortitude in their gameplay, that even when the cards are stacked against them, they will not give up. They will not just bow down and simply wither away into nothingness. They will fight back, and they will try and make something happen. But right now, Imba is getting pressured in all sorts of ways, and he's missing simple shots. Imba, that is inexcusable, son. But Bunty, okay, that was a sweet little fadeaway shot on Chingy, and then he messes up this. CZ, who needs a rifle when you have a CZ in this game, eh? But now it's a retake with the AWP and 2 rifles. Post plants are okay, they're not the best, but Nims, I think Faker spotted out the barrel of the rifle. Now he definitely knows Nims is out. And Rat returns the favor onto Nims that Bunty did onto his teammate.
Well, it's actually going to be Legendary walking in through the smoke, trying to go in for the retake. But Rat is going to be watching the cross. He's going to be watching short. And Legendary is going to get destroyed. And Savage is going to fall back, try and save that up. Now, the amount of pressure that he's going to be feeling right now, right, is going to be ridiculous. He's going to be feeling a lot of pressure, and Savage just trying to make his way towards connector, trying to save that up. He's going to be able to save it though. He's going to miss out on the shot. Will get spotted and will probably get taken down as well. Maybe not. Riv is actually going to get taken down. He's going to manage to save that up. And now this is a round for them to win, because if they lose this one, now this is going to be interesting to see, because there's just so much they have to do right now, right? Savage with the off, Imba, Nims, and all, and the rest of the company. I mean, they won't really be able to buy up all that much, but Legendary is going to be given that M4 now. This is interesting. This is interesting. Imba, actually, Bunty is going to buy that M4. Give it up to Legendary. I don't quite get this, because Bunty has quite clearly, I mean, never mind, they're all sitting on equal number of frags. I just saw the scorecard and it felt like, well, Legendary was having a rough time, but, well, they won't really have the resources or the guns they would want to work with, and this should be an easy round for DarkSide.
Well, the writing's on the wall for Elements. They've gone for it all. They've gone for broke. They have to. And good thing there, Savage with the AWP finds Riv. But again, the kill getting immediately traded out. Legendary killer though, playing a rather one-and-done spot. But they haven't played this. And there we go. It was indeed a one-and-done spot. In fact, Savage getting burnt to a crisp. And Imba trying to self-immolate as well. Stepping gracefully into the fire. There's a player right around the corner. Will Faker expect Imba? It's all on him, whether Elements make it to the Masters division or not. And Imba still alive, still kicking, still keeping the hopes and dreams of Elements alive in a 1v2. Now he's made a lot of noise. All Alganims has to do is peek out at the right time, but it doesn't matter, because respect, Rat Respect, is gonna get the final kill. And that is DarkSide, ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the Masters division. And we will bid fare thee well to Elements. Maybe next time. All the best. But that was a